Welcome to this engaging debate on climate change, green energy versus fossil fuels. This debate has been uniquely designed with two artificial intelligence agents, each specializing in a different energy source. One AI agent is an expert in renewable energy, while the other brings expertise in fossil fuels. The debate consists of 5 rounds, with each round composed of 5 turns. The starting participant for the first round has been chosen at random, and in subsequent rounds, the other participant will begin to ensure fairness and balance. Each participant will have 1.5 minutes to present their argument or rebuttal. Let's dive into the first round with our initial topic: economic viability, cost of transition versus staying the course. We will begin with the green energy advocate. Your 1.5 minute argument starts now.
The economic viability of transitioning to green energy is more promising than ever. Firstly, the cost of renewable technologies like solar and wind has plummeted significantly by more than 80% over the last decade for solar and around 55% for wind. This makes renewables often cheaper than fossil fuels per megawatt hour. Secondly, continuing the fossil fuel route incurs escalating costs due to environmental degradation and health impacts, which burden economies. Embracing renewable energy reduces these health costs and mitigates climate change-related expenditures like disaster recovery. Moreover, the transition stimulates job creation. Renewables already employ more people worldwide than coal and gas combined. Investing in green infrastructure catalyzes innovation and positions economies at the forefront of the burgeoning global green energy market. Policies and incentives supporting the transition make the economic case even stronger, resulting in long-term benefits that outweigh the transitional challenges. Transitioning to renewable energy isn't just viable, it's essential for sustainable economic growth.
Thank you, Green Energy Advocate, for your insights. Now, let's hear from the fossil fuel specialist. You have 1.5 minutes to present your argument. Your time starts now.
While the appeal of green energy is clear, the economic viability of fossil fuels remains robust, especially considering global infrastructural dependence. Fossil fuels are currently the backbone of modern economies, powering industries, transportation, and providing reliable energy 24/7, which renewables struggle with due to their intermittent nature. Fossil fuel industries also provide millions of jobs worldwide, and abrupt transitions could lead to widespread economic disruption and job losses. Furthermore, the existing global infrastructure from refineries to pipelines represents trillions in investments, assets that would be economically wasteful to abandon prematurely. Additionally, technological advancements have continuously reduced the environmental impact of fossil fuel extraction and consumption. Staying the course with fossil fuels allows time to innovate cleaner extraction and consumption methods, ensuring energy reliability while gradually integrating feasible renewable solutions. The economic stability offered by fossil fuels remains indispensable during this transitionary period.
Thank you, Fossil Fuel Advocate, for your perspective. Now, Green Energy Advocate, you have 1.5 minutes for your rebuttal. The floor is yours.
While fossil fuels have historically driven economies, the future necessitates a shift to sustainable energy sources. Firstly, renewables are overcoming intermittency issues through advancements in battery storage and smart grid technologies, ensuring reliable 24/7 energy supply. Additionally, transitioning to green energy doesn't mandate an abrupt abandonment of current infrastructure. Many existing systems can be retrofitted or repurposed to accommodate renewables, preserving economic value. Concerning job losses, the renewable sector is rapidly expanding, offering new opportunities for skill development and employment in sustainable fields. Importantly, while fossil fuels may innovate in cleaner methods, they can't eliminate their carbon footprint, continuing to exacerbate climate change. Investing in renewables now reduces long-term climate risks and integrates resilience into our economy. The transition is an opportunity to modernize energy systems, reduce reliance on finite resources, and foster environmental and economic sustainability simultaneously.
Now, let's hear from the Fossil Fuel Advocate for your rebuttal. You have 1.5 minutes to present your response. Your time starts now.
While advancements in renewable energy technology are commendable, the fundamental issues of cost and scalability remain significant hurdles. Fossil fuels provide a cost-effective solution for developing nations where economic constraints preclude the immediate adoption of pricey renewable infrastructure. The global economy's reliance on fossil fuels is not just a result of historical use, but ongoing affordability and accessibility. Job losses from a rushed transition cannot be understated, as entire communities depend on these industries. Moreover, innovations in carbon capture and utilization are making strides in reducing fossil fuels' environmental impact, offering a feasible path to lowering emissions without disrupting economic stability. Maintaining a diversified energy portfolio, which includes fossil fuels, ensures energy security during the renewable transition phase. By preserving jobs and supporting affordable energy, fossil fuels play an essential role in a stable and balanced economic growth strategy.
Thank you, fossil fuel advocate, for your response. Now, green energy advocate, you have 1.5 minutes for your reply. The floor is yours.
The argument for fossil fuels in developing nations overlooks the decreasing costs of renewables. Solar and wind have become increasingly affordable, often more so than coal or natural gas, especially when you factor in the declining costs and accessibility of renewable technologies. Moreover, renewables offer decentralized energy solutions, critical for regions lacking extensive grid infrastructure. Think of solar microgrids providing energy to remote areas. Concerning jobs, the renewable sector is a burgeoning job creator that emphasizes local employment. As for carbon capture, it remains expensive and unproven at scale compared to the tangible benefits of fully renewable systems. A diversified energy strategy should prioritize clean, sustainable solutions that shield economies from volatile fossil fuel markets. Transitioning gradually allows for workforce retraining and the development of new industries around renewables, aligning economic growth with environmental responsibility and fostering long-term resilience on a global scale.
Thank you, green energy advocate, for your final thoughts on this topic. That concludes the discussion on economic viability, cost of transition versus staying the course. Now, we will move on to the next topic. Energy reliability. Can renewables match the stability of fossil fuels? To kick off this discussion, we'll turn to the fossil fuel advocate for their opening argument. You have 1.5 minutes. Your time starts now.
Fossil fuels have long been the cornerstone of energy reliability due to their ability to provide consistent, uninterrupted power supply. Unlike renewables, which are subject to weather variability and geographic limitations, fossil fuels deliver energy stability that industrial and residential sectors depend on. Coal, oil, and natural gas power plants can operate continuously, ensuring electricity availability in peak demand situations or emergencies. Moreover, the current energy infrastructure is optimized for fossil fuels, offering immediate solutions to energy demands without the need for substantial upgrades. Additionally, advancements in technology have enhanced the efficiency and environmental performance of fossil fuel plants, further contributing to their reliability. In contrast, renewables often require supplementary systems like battery storage or backup fossil fuel plants to address intermittency, adding complexity and cost. As we navigate the shift to a diverse energy landscape, it's crucial to maintain reliable, foundational energy sources like fossil fuels to ensure energy security and economic stability.
Thank you, fossil fuel advocate, for your opening statement on energy reliability. Now, green energy advocate, it's your turn to respond. You have 1.5 minutes to present your argument. The floor is yours.
Renewable energy is rapidly matching the reliability of fossil fuels through various technological advancements. Innovations in energy storage, like sophisticated battery systems, are effectively mitigating the intermittent nature of renewables, providing stable power 24/7. Additionally, developing smart grid technologies enhance energy management, allowing for the integration of renewables while balancing supply and demand. Geographic diversity in solar and wind installations further offsets variability, ensuring a consistent energy output. Moreover, renewable energy infrastructures like microgrids offer decentralized power solutions, enhancing resilience against disruptions compared to centralized fossil fuel systems. Countries already generating significant portions of their energy from renewables prove their reliability potential. As renewables continue to decrease in cost and increase in efficiency, they not only meet but exceed the reliability offered by fossil fuels, fostering a sustainable, secure energy future.
Thank you, Green Energy Advocate, for your insights on the potential of renewable energy to match fossil fuel reliability. Now let's hear from the fossil fuel advocate for your rebuttal. The floor is yours.
While the advancements in renewable energy are noteworthy, fossil fuels remain unparalleled in providing immediate and consistent power supply. Battery storage, while evolving, still faces limitations in scalability and cost, with current technologies unable to hold sufficient reserve for prolonged downtimes. Fossil fuels, conversely, readily adapt to variations in demand, offering real-time responsiveness and security, especially crucial during peak usage or emergencies. The extensive infrastructure for fossil fuels worldwide supports a seamless delivery that renewables are yet to match without significant overhauls. Furthermore, the complexity and added costs of integrating smart grid and storage technologies increase expenses and logistical burdens. As geographic and technological constraints still impact renewable energy, fossil fuels continue to ensure steadfast reliability, thereby maintaining energy security and economic stability, particularly in regions yet to access or afford the necessary renewable infrastructure advancements.
Thank you, fossil fuel advocate, for your rebuttal. Now, Green Energy Advocate, you have 1.5 minutes for your response. Your time begins now.
Renewable energy's potential for reliability is profound, thanks to an array of advancements negating previous limitations. Battery technology is advancing rapidly, driving down costs and enhancing storage capacities, while innovations like grid-scale storage and energy management systems are becoming economically viable and scalable. Furthermore, demand response solutions are increasingly effective, enabling flexibility and stability across diverse conditions. Unlike the centralized nature of fossil fuel systems, renewables can be deployed in modular, local configurations, reducing vulnerability to large-scale disruptions. Investment in diversified renewable sources, including hydro, wind, solar, and geothermal, ensures a balanced and resilient energy supply. Financially, continuous investment in renewable infrastructure is proving to be less burdensome than the long-term environmental and health costs associated with fossil fuels. The shift towards renewables isn't simply a technological transition, but an evolution toward a sustainable energy model that encourages innovation and inclusivity, ultimately achieving stability and environmental stewardship.
Thank you, Green Energy Advocate, for your response on the reliability of renewable energy. Now let's turn back to the fossil fuel advocate for their final thoughts on this topic. You have 1.5 minutes for your reply. The floor is yours.
While renewable energy advancements are promising, the current energy landscape still benefits significantly from the established reliability of fossil fuels. The immediate availability and cost-effectiveness of fossil fuels play a crucial role in ensuring energy security, particularly in areas where renewable infrastructure is not yet fully developed or feasible. The scalability issues and high costs associated with battery storage and new grid technologies remain obstacles that renewables have yet to consistently overcome. Additionally, fossil fuels provide real-time power supply responsiveness, essential during peak demands or emergencies where renewables might fall short due to intermittency. The global energy infrastructure is heavily integrated with fossil fuels, which offers seamless and uninterrupted power delivery without requiring costly upgrades or new systems. Thus, while continuing to explore and integrate renewable solutions, fossil fuels remain a cornerstone for ensuring stable and reliable energy supply during this transition. Investing in cleaner fossil fuel technologies, alongside renewables, offers a balanced approach to maintain economic and energy stability worldwide.
Thank you, fossil fuel advocate, for sharing your final thoughts on the topic of energy reliability. This concludes the discussion on energy reliability. Can renewables match the stability of fossil fuels? We will now move on to our next topic in this debate: environmental impact, emissions versus land and resource use. To kick off this round, we will begin with the green energy advocate. You have 1.5 minutes to present your opening argument. The floor is yours.
Renewable energy offers profound environmental benefits by significantly reducing emissions compared to fossil fuels. Wind, solar, and hydroelectric power generate electricity with little to no greenhouse gas emissions, thus directly contributing to efforts against climate change and improving air quality. In contrast, fossil fuels are a leading source of carbon emissions, exacerbating global warming and related environmental catastrophes. While some argue about the land and resource use of renewables, it's crucial to consider the minimized environmental footprint due to technological advancements. Solar panels can be installed on existing structures like rooftops, minimizing land disruption. Wind farms can coexist with agriculture, and the impact of hydro and geothermal systems is being continuously mitigated by innovative design and practices. Moreover, the transition to renewables reduces dependence on water-intensive energy resources, preserving water ecosystems. Moving towards green energy supports biodiversity and protects ecosystems from the detrimental effects of fossil fuel extraction and use, fostering a healthier planet for future generations.
Thank you, Green Energy Advocate, for your opening statement on the environmental impact of renewable energy. Now, let's hear from the fossil fuel advocate for your response. You have 1.5 minutes to present your argument. Your time begins now.
While it's true that fossil fuels contribute to carbon emissions, they also offer a high energy density, meaning they generate significant power from smaller quantities of resources compared to renewables. This reduces the extensive land use required by solar panels and wind farms, which can disrupt local ecosystems and wildlife. Additionally, the extraction processes for materials like lithium and rare earth metals, crucial for renewable technologies, carry their own environmental and social impacts, including habitat destruction and pollution. Fossil fuel extraction has become increasingly efficient and environmentally considerate, with technologies such as carbon capture and storage, CCS, significantly reducing emissions. Moreover, fossil fuels provide the consistent energy supply necessary to support the refinement and development of renewable technologies. Balancing environmental concerns with practical energy demands ensures an ongoing supply of reliable power while fostering economic growth and technological advancement. As such, fossil fuels remain a crucial component in the global energy mix.
Thank you, fossil fuel advocate, for your insights on the environmental impact of fossil fuels. Now, green energy advocate, it's your turn for a rebuttal. You have 1.5 minutes to present your response. The floor is yours.
While it's acknowledged that fossil fuels have a higher energy density, their environmental toll is profound, emitting far greater carbon and pollutants per energy unit than renewables. The land use critique of renewables overlooks their potential for dual use, such as integrating solar panels on existing rooftops or co-locating wind farms with agricultural activities, minimizing ecosystem disruption. The environmental impacts of mining for renewables can be mitigated through recycling programs and sustainable sourcing practices. Technological advances continue to reduce these impacts, making renewables less intrusive over time. Additionally, CCS technologies are not yet widely scalable or efficient enough to address the massive emissions from fossil fuels globally. As renewables improve, their cleaner energy potential increasingly aligns with sustainable goals without the detrimental legacy of fossil fuel extraction and combustion. Transitioning to renewables is essential for long-term environmental health, reducing our carbon footprint, protecting ecosystems, and building a sustainable future.
Thank you, Green Energy Advocate, for your detailed rebuttal. Now let's hear from the fossil fuel advocate for your response on this topic. The floor is yours.
While the environmental impact of fossil fuels is acknowledged, they remain crucial for meeting the global energy demand, providing stable power that renewables are not yet fully equipped to offer independently. The advancements in clean coal technology and CCS are notable strides toward reducing their carbon footprint and can be scaled up with increased investment and innovation. Moreover, the land use and ecological disruptions caused by extensive renewable infrastructure cannot be overlooked. Wind farms and solar installations can fragment habitats, negatively impacting wildlife. In contrast, fossil fuel facilities often occupy a smaller footprint relative to their energy output, thus maintaining more undisturbed landscapes. The push for materials such as lithium and cobalt for renewable technologies also carries significant environmental and social challenges, sometimes offsetting the perceived benefits. Investing in making fossil fuels cleaner ensures a balanced approach where we can maintain energy reliability and economic stability while incrementally transitioning to more sustainable practices without abrupt ecological or financial disruptions.
Green Energy Advocate, you have 1.5 minutes for your reply to the fossil fuel advocate's arguments. Your time begins now.
While fossil fuels have traditionally met energy demands, their continued use contributes significantly to climate change, an issue that demands immediate action rather than incremental adaptation. The promises of clean coal technology and CCS, while hopeful, are not yet viable at the necessary scale and continue to divert attention and resources from proven renewable solutions. Moreover, the potential for habitat disruption by renewables is being addressed through careful site planning and technological advances, such as offshore wind farms and floating solar panels. Regarding the materials for renewables, industry efforts are underway to develop sustainable mining practices and recycling initiatives to mitigate these impacts. The transition to green energy aims not only to reduce emissions, but also to transform energy systems into sustainable models that support long-term environmental health. By prioritizing energy efficiency and investing in renewables, we create cleaner, resilient energy systems that preserve ecosystems while ensuring reliable power supply, moving towards a truly sustainable future.
Thank you, Green Energy Advocate, for your response. That concludes the discussion on environmental impact, emissions versus land and resource use. We will now move on to our next topic, geopolitical implications, energy independence versus resource control. To start this round, we'll turn to the fossil fuel advocate for their opening argument. You have 1.5 minutes to present your perspective. Your time begins now.
Fossil fuels play a crucial role in maintaining geopolitical stability and energy independence. Many countries have established significant reserves and infrastructures around coal, oil, and natural gas, which provide reliable energy sources that are less susceptible to global market volatility compared to rare resources needed for renewable technologies. Control over fossil fuel resources enables countries to exert considerable influence on the global stage, strengthening national security through energy self-sufficiency. Furthermore, fossil fuels support diverse international energy trade relationships, facilitating global cooperation and economic partnerships. Transitioning too rapidly to renewables could further concentrate resource control, as the extraction of rare earth materials used in renewable technologies is dominated by a few countries, potentially increasing geopolitical tensions. Current advancements in cleaner fossil fuel technologies offer a balanced approach, ensuring energy independence while managing environmental impacts, allowing countries to adapt strategically to evolving energy landscapes. By leveraging existing fossil fuel assets alongside renewable integration, nations can maintain geopolitical leverage and stability while gradually shifting to more sustainable practices.
Thank you, fossil fuel advocate, for your perspective on the geopolitical implications of energy sources. Now, let's hear from the Green Energy Advocate for your response. You have 1.5 minutes to present your argument on energy independence and resource control. The floor is yours.
Renewable energy offers a transformative path to achieving true global energy independence. Unlike fossil fuels, which are concentrated in specific regions, renewables utilize abundant resources like sunlight, wind, and water, available across diverse geographies. This decentralization mitigates reliance on volatile, often geopolitically sensitive fossil fuel markets, reducing energy-related conflicts and promoting stability. Additionally, the technological and economic benefits of renewables empower nations to strengthen their energy security by developing local resources and infrastructure, fostering job creation, and boosting economic resilience. While the extraction of rare earth materials poses challenges, the renewables industry is innovating to reduce dependency through recycling and alternative materials, diminishing geopolitical concentration risks. By embracing a shift towards renewables, countries can liberate themselves from the geopolitical sway of fossil fuel-rich states, thereby fostering a cooperative global energy landscape based on sustainable and omnipresent resources. This strategic transition enhances national security and international collaboration, ensuring stable energy futures outside of fossil fuel dependencies.
The Green Energy Advocate has just presented their perspective on the geopolitical implications of renewable energy. Now, let's hear from the Fossil Fuel Advocate for their rebuttal. You have 1.5 minutes to respond. The floor is yours.
While the vision of global energy independence through renewables is ambitious, it faces critical challenges in scale and implementation. Fossil fuels have historically provided geopolitical stability by equipping countries with established energy systems and trade networks. This existing infrastructure supports national security and maintains energy independence without the concern of geopolitical dependence on limited rare earth resources, primarily controlled by a few countries. The rapid shift to renewables, despite technological advances, carries risks of economic and resource imbalances, potentially exacerbating global inequalities. Additionally, the geopolitical footprint of fossil fuels fosters diverse and robust international partnerships, essential for global economic interdependence and cooperation. Furthermore, continued investment in fossil fuel technologies, like carbon capture, can mitigate environmental impacts while providing a reliable energy source. A strategic approach, combining cleaner fossil fuel use with gradual renewable integration, ensures stable energy transitions and sustains geopolitical balance, maintaining global energy security amidst evolving challenges.
Thank you, Fossil Fuel Advocate, for your rebuttal. Now, Green Energy Advocate, you have 1.5 minutes to respond to these points. Your time begins now.
The transition to renewable energy is about redefining and enhancing energy independence, sustainability, and geopolitical balance. Renewables leverage abundant, universally available resources like wind, solar, and hydro to diminish reliance on any single resource or country. This reduces the susceptibility to global energy supply shocks linked to fossil fuel volatility and geopolitical tensions. While scaling renewables poses challenges, technological progress in energy storage, grid infrastructure, and resource efficiency is rapidly addressing these issues. Local renewable deployments foster energy autonomy and reduce reliance on imports, promoting equity by empowering emerging economies to harness their own energy capabilities. Moreover, the focus on fossil fuels often overlooks their inherent environmental risks and finite nature. Investing in renewables, paired with innovative technologies and recycling, can diversify global resource dependence away from fossil fuels, paving the way for more cooperative international energy relationships. This green transition not only ensures long-term geopolitical stability, but aligns global interests towards mitigating climate change and fostering economic resilience.
Thank you, Green Energy Advocate, for your detailed response. Now, Fossil Fuel Advocate, you have 1.5 minutes for your reply to address the points raised by the Green Energy Advocate. Your time begins now.
While the appeal of renewable energy and its promise of broader resource accessibility is clear, the current global energy landscape still relies heavily on the stability and infrastructure provided by fossil fuels. These traditional resources have been central to establishing strong international ties and economic integration, facilitating geopolitical stability and trade networks that have been built over decades. The transition to a fully renewable system is not without its hurdles, including the current scarcity and geopolitical concentration of essential materials like rare earth metals, which are vital for renewable technology manufacturing. This could shift geopolitical tensions from fossil fuels to these new resources, impacting energy security. Moreover, fossil fuels provide the foundation for energy security and economic growth worldwide, with significant investments already made in extraction, refining, and distribution infrastructures. These resources offer energy independence to many countries currently unable to fully transition to renewable options due to economic or technological constraints. A balanced energy strategy, integrating both cleaner fossil solutions and renewables, is vital to ensuring energy reliability and geopolitical stability without risking economic and resource imbalances during the transition period.
Thank you, fossil fuel advocate, for your concluding response in our discussion on geopolitical implications, energy independence versus resource control. That concludes the debate on this topic. We will now move on to our next topic, climate goals, achieving net zero by 2050. To open the first round of this discussion, we will begin with the green energy advocate. You have 1.5 minutes to present your initial argument. Your time starts now.
Achieving net zero emissions by 2050 is a critical goal, and renewable energy is indispensable in this effort. Renewables like solar, wind, hydro, and geothermal produce clean energy with little to no carbon footprint, crucial for reducing overall greenhouse gas emissions. The rapid decline in the cost of these technologies accelerates their adoption, making them economically viable on a large scale. Transitioning to renewables also drives innovation, resulting in advanced energy-efficient systems and carbon-neutral technologies. Energy efficiency measures combined with renewables help industries, homes, and transportation sectors sharply cut emissions, aligning with net zero targets. Additionally, renewables facilitate electrification of these sectors, further displacing carbon-intensive processes. A commitment to renewable energy catalyzes international collaboration to develop and share technologies, driving worldwide progress towards net zero. Policies that support renewable development, such as carbon pricing and infrastructure investment, are pivotal. By prioritizing renewables, we not only target emissions reduction, but also build resilient, sustainable energy systems that support ecological and economic health into the future. This transformation is essential to meeting global climate commitments and securing a habitable planet.
Thank you, Green Energy Advocate, for your compelling opening remarks on achieving net zero emissions by 2050. Now, let's hear from the Fossil Fuel Advocate for their response. You have 1.5 minutes to present your argument. Your time begins now.
While achieving net zero emissions by 2050 is vital, it's important to recognize the role of fossil fuels in providing a balanced transition. Fossil fuels currently support baseload energy needs with reliable, scalable power essential for economic stability. Technological advancements, including carbon capture and storage (CCS), present viable pathways to significantly reduce emissions from fossil fuel use. The economics of transitioning solely to renewables are challenging, particularly for developing nations reliant on affordable fossil fuels to fuel growth and development. A balanced approach incorporating low-emission fossil fuel technologies can mitigate financial strains while retaining energy reliability. Moreover, significant investments have already been made in fossil fuel infrastructure worldwide. Leveraging these assets while incrementally integrating renewable solutions and improving emissions technologies will allow for a sustainable and economically feasible path to net zero. Combining cleaner fossil technologies with renewable expansion provides a strategic, realistic roadmap for addressing climate goals without compromising global energy needs or economic growth.
Thank you, Fossil Fuel Advocate, for outlining your perspective on achieving net zero emissions. Green Energy Advocate, you now have 1.5 minutes for your response. The floor is yours.
Transitioning to renewable energy is fundamental for achieving net zero emissions by 2050. While fossil fuels have played a role historically, their future viability is limited by their inherent carbon outputs and environmental risks. Investments in carbon capture and storage (CCS) are still speculative and not yet economically scalable to the extent needed for significant impact. The declining costs of renewables, coupled with advances in energy storage and grid infrastructure, present a more reliable path to meet energy needs sustainably. For developing nations, renewables offer a decentralized and increasingly affordable energy solution. Solar and wind technologies, supported by local installations, provide opportunities for energy independence, economic growth, and job creation without the escalating costs of fossil fuel volatility. Global policies and financial support can facilitate this transition, ensuring that developing regions are not left behind. Reallocating investments from fossil infrastructure to renewables accelerates innovation and adaptation, crucial for reaching climate goals. By focusing on renewables, we align with a trajectory of sustainable development that mitigates climate impacts while promoting economic stability. This transition fosters an energy system adaptable to future demands, enhancing ecological resilience and global cooperation.
Thank you, Green Energy Advocate, for your response. Now we'll turn to the Fossil Fuel Advocate for their final thoughts on achieving net zero emissions by 2050. The floor is yours.
Achieving net zero emissions by 2050 requires a pragmatic approach that includes fossil fuels as part of the solution. While renewables are important, complete reliance on them is not yet feasible, particularly in terms of energy reliability and affordability for all economies. Fossil fuels continue to play a crucial role in ensuring stable energy supply, especially during renewable intermittency. Technological advancements like carbon capture and storage (CCS) offer promising avenues to significantly reduce emissions from fossil fuels, creating a transitional bridge toward a low-carbon future. These technologies can be developed alongside renewables, providing a diversified and resilient energy system. Moreover, transitioning too quickly away from fossil fuels could lead to economic instability, particularly in regions heavily reliant on these industries. A balanced strategy that leverages existing fossil fuel infrastructure with improvements in clean energy technology helps manage economic impacts while progressing toward climate goals. By integrating cleaner fossil fuel applications alongside expanding renewable energy sources, we can achieve a more stable and economically feasible path to net zero emissions by 2050.
Thank you, Fossil Fuel Advocate, for sharing your concluding thoughts on this critical topic. Now, let's hear from the Green Energy Advocate for your reply to the points raised. You have 1.5 minutes to present your response. Your time begins now.
Achieving net zero emissions by 2050 critically hinges on accelerating the shift to renewable energy, moving away from fossil fuel dependence. While fossil fuels may provide temporary stability, their environmental costs and finite nature underscore the urgency to invest in scalable renewable solutions like solar, wind, and hydro. Advances in energy storage and grid innovations are fast addressing intermittency issues, making renewables increasingly reliable and affordable. Carbon capture and storage, while promising, remain costly and limited in effectiveness at the scale needed. Conversely, renewables not only reduce emissions but also stimulate economic growth, particularly in developing regions, by fostering local energy independence and job creation. A rapid transition is not just viable but essential, with global incentives ensuring regions reliant on fossil fuels are supported in their shift to renewables. By focusing on renewable energy, we create a sustainable, resilient energy infrastructure that meets future demands and firmly supports achieving net zero emissions by 2050. This strategy not only addresses climate change, but also empowers economies to thrive sustainably.
Thank you, Green Energy Advocate, for your concluding remarks. This marks the end of our final topic on climate goals, achieving net zero by 2050, as well as the entire debate on climate change, green energy versus fossil fuels. Throughout our engaging and thought-provoking debate, the following topics were discussed: economic viability, energy reliability, environmental impact, geopolitical implications, and climate goals. Both sides highlighted the advantages and disadvantages of their respective energy sources, and here you can see a summary of them by beginning with the green energy advantages. The Green Energy Advocate emphasized the significant reductions in greenhouse gas emissions offered by renewables such as solar, wind, hydro, and geothermal. These technologies are rapidly becoming more cost-effective and scalable, contributing to global energy independence and equitably accessible energy resources. Renewable energy aligns with long-term climate goals by minimizing environmental impact and supporting sustainable economic growth. On the other hand, the disadvantages include the intermittency of renewables and the current need for advancements in energy storage and grid infrastructure to ensure reliability. Moreover, the extraction of materials used in renewable technologies carries potential environmental and social concerns. Now, let's see the advantages of fossil fuels. The fossil fuel advocate highlighted the current reliability and energy density of fossil fuels, which provide a stable power supply vital for economic stability. Fossil fuels support developed infrastructures and contribute significantly to geopolitical stability. Advances in technologies like carbon capture could potentially reduce emissions, aiding in transitional strategies toward cleaner energy. The disadvantages of fossil fuels include a significant drawback is their substantial contribution to carbon emissions and climate change. Additionally, reliance on finite fossil resources can present long-term sustainability concerns. The economic challenge of transitioning regions heavily reliant on fossil fuel industries also remains. Thank you to both of our expert participants, the Green Energy Advocate and the Fossil Fuel Advocate, for sharing your insights and engaging in this lively discussion. And thank you to our audience for joining us today. We invite you to reflect on the following question. As we strive for a sustainable future, how should societies balance immediate energy needs with long-term environmental responsibilities? We encourage you to share your thoughts and comments. Like and subscribe for more AI debate on interesting topics.